Duncan's with an S. That didn't change until 1912.
Duncan's, Duncan Station, Duncan's Corners, some of the many former names of this now 100-year-old city. William Chalmers Duncan, or W.C., was a farmer whose land the city became, and if he had his way, it would have been called something entirely different.
His farm was Alderley, and he wanted to call it Alderley, but they wanted to call it, and it was called Duncan's Crossing, because the town was to go right through his property.
Shirley's grandfather, W.C., died in 1919, the year she was born, but her grandmother, Sarah Annie, lived for many years after and was a big part of Shirley's life.
She was Irish, but when she came here, she never ever left Duncan.
No, she never left. I don't even remember her going to Victoria.
The tale of W.C. and Sarah are just one of 100 stories of the centenary exhibit at the Cowichan Valley Museum. The tales range from surprising to humorous and involve many famous figures, including Nanaimo Cowichan MP Tommy Douglas, who was named by CBC as the favorite Canadian of all times. Robert Dunsmuir and Canada's first Prime Minister rode the rails through here. They were impressed by a group of people who put on a show that ultimately put their village on the map.
At that time, the people were trying to establish a train station, this train station. And if Sir John A. had not been there and been part of the event, then probably this station wouldn't be here, and perhaps Duncan wouldn't have become, the center of commerce that it is today.
Driving Duncan style was a bit different. This downtown traffic light, which was removed in the year 2000, said stop, then go, and meant just that, much to the surprise of a woman who learned how to drive in this town.
And then when she was in Vancouver and she had to stop, she stopped, she looked both ways and went, and then she was pulled over. And he said, "You went through a red light." She said, "Oh, well, I learned how to drive in Duncan, and there's one sign and it said stop, then go, and that's what I did."
Debilitating snowstorms, Rick Hansen's totem, many royal visits, Cowichan knitters, all part of the yarn that weaves Duncan's 100 stories. And Shirley Garrick says it's been a good 100 years for the city that stands on her grandfather's former farm.
Yes, I feel very proud, yes, and I think he would have been very happy to find it flourish the way it did, really.
The 100 Stories for 100 Years exhibit is on at the Cowichan Museum until October 20th. In Duncan, I'm Teri Church.